Right, so basically that's where that piece of flat bar there is where the rock slider's going to run. That bit's about the right width and right height at the front there. That bit of box section just laying across there just to support it. I like laying things in place of where they're going to go, and then just kind of, you see how she's got that slight taper to her. That's nice, because that means things will scuff across to this back corner here, and then once we bounce off them there, the tyre will take care of them. Good old tyres. Got to love a good tyre. They're I don't even know what they are. BF Goodrich. They're mud terrains, I know that. They got tread for days and they're not all that old, so they're alright. So basically we've got to work out a way of tying a box section or tubular piece of metallic stuff into here. It's going to go at the right angle for what we're trying to do here. And then tie a couple of outriggers in. Obviously there'll be one off that front body mount, which will strengthen that up a bit. And then we just got to work out where else we're going to put. We'll probably have one come off that cross member, maybe come out and tie in. Maybe one near the middle. I don't plan on running an overly thick, overly heavy duty piece of box section. Well, it'll have to be fairly thick, but not stupidly thick, because, well, we do kind of want to keep the weight down, and, well, there's already more metal in here than something made of lots of metal. And, well, we ain't done yet. We've still got to build the bed to go on the back here. She's going to have a big old rollover hoop go up the back of the cab. The cab is actually, let's see if you can see it, it's marked on there. Camera screen's gone off. It's marked on there, cab. That's where the cab's coming back to. So the last cab mount is going to be just before that mudguard assembly. And then from there back, it's not an overly big area, but I think it's going to have a bit of a flatbed on it. Probably going to have a 17,500 pound winch on the back here. There's going to be a set of fold down winch spades come off the back bumper. So when boys get really stuck in Discoveries, because Discoveries get stuck just trying to drive on a bit of grass, you know, when they get really bogged, I'll pull up, I'll back up to them, and we won't be snatching. We'll be dropping the winch spades in to anchor up, and then we'll be winching the hell out of them. She is going to be the ultimate winch rig for off-road recoveries. So what she's going to be, that's going to be a little fucking 4-track that'll go absolutely anywhere. Well, it's going to be quite a big 4-track, really. It's going to be quite a big 4-track that'll go absolutely anywhere. We might change the rear tyres, because they're 33 10.5 15s. And I think we might go to 33 12.5s on the rear, just to give her a little bit more stance, and then keep 10.5s up the front for the... I don't like 12.5s up the front, because 4-tracks are twitchy as hell anyway, and you hit a puddle on a wet road in a short wheelbase rig with 12.5 wide tyres on the front, and, well, you're in a whole world of hurt going all over the place, because they just don't like it. 10.5s, never had an issue with them on. 10.5 wides, they just seem to cut straight through the puddles. You can hit them at 80, 90 mile an hour, don't really matter. So, you know, I wanted to drive nice and be the ultimate rig, so I figure the wider tyres on the rear, she'll have a hell of a stance on her. Might have to do a little bit of tyre pressure correction to get the rolling radius right when we get off-road and want to use 4-wheel, but for 90% of the time, she'll be in 2-wheel, and when we are in 4-wheel, it'll be on soft enough ground. If there is a bit of discrepancy between the rolling radius of the front and rear, it'll scrap it out on the floor. We're not going to be winding the transfer box up and blowing it up. She ain't got a centre diff, that's the thing. 4-track boxes ain't got a centre diff. They're either in 4-wheel or in 2-wheel. Those are your options locked in. Which is good, because it beats the Discovery mob who go out, oh, I've got a Disco 2, TD5 remapped, 230 brake, mate, 230 brake, all of this. Got popcorn on it, bruv, got fucking popcorn on it, it's well good. They get in a little bit of mud and then realise that their big 4-wheel drive Discovery is only actually a 1-wheel drive vehicle, because the centre diff just lets it do the thing to whichever wheel happens to be in the mud, and then that wheel spins and the other 3 wheels just stand there like, I was designed by a probably shouldn't say that, but shots fired and all that. Oh, I got 230 brake, mate. La la. Yeah, you got 230 chances of breaking it. I've got 103 horsepower in the old rig. She'll have a little bit more than that once I get the old engine tuned, but a stock tune 4-track, 103 horsepower. That's very rare you'll fucking break anything, and that'll still go just as far as any disco. I'm just saying, some people need to, you know, learn how to weld and reconsider the life choices, I think. Anyway, I'm going to go and stop ranting and get on with trying to design some sliders. Minty! Right, boys, we're going to go and find the rattle gun. I've got a socket and a spanner. I think the rattle gun was still in this old girl. Yeah, there it is. There's, well, I might have just found the perfect thing, or the perfect couple of pieces of metal to make tree/rock sliders out of. There's 2 big old bits of box section. Still got to put the gearbox back in this rig. It sort of lays down under there still, and the clutch is all there. And well, there were issues after New Year's Day, and I ain't got around to it. So I was just over here. I came over here to re-measure something on the body because I weren't too sure whether I'd measured it right or wrong. I forgot to bring one of my gloves, so I'm a bit like Michael Jackson at the minute, you know, 1 glove. And I noticed on the back of this 77, these 2 box section rails, which are held on with 3 17mm bolts that we're probably going to reuse. Well, I think they're 17s. Yep, they're 17s, so I'm going to getting down to it and have them off. What happened? Oh, well, that came out. Oh no, the squacket fell off the end of the hurdy-gurdy, and I've lost washers and nuts and bits and pieces and doodabs. So we'll put them up there for now. Oh, actually, also there's no washer on the top there. So, Leon, what were you doing, mate? I say, Leon, what were you doing? Because I'm fairly sure Leon was the one who put these on here. You might meet him one day. He used to have 4 tracks, but he's gone away from. I bought the 77 off him. I actually transported it for him from just around the corner from here back to his when he bought it. And I kind of said to him when we picked it up, shall we just take it back to mine because it'll end up there anyway, and he weren't a fan of that. And then fast forward a couple of years, he messaged me and said, you know, like, what are you going to pay me for the 77? And I was like, well, what do you want for it, mate? I knew it was going to come here eventually anyway. Most trucks do. We got a big washer again. Minty. Oh. You probably can't see a great deal, but well, join the club. Neither can I. Oh, cross-threading it. No, maybe. I'm not really sure. We'll lay that on the wheel. It'll end up on the floor in a minute then. Oh, bloody hell. I don't know. Should have brought the magnetic work light really. It'd have been easier to mount it somewhere so that not only you could see, but so I could bloody well see, because, well, I'm the one doing the work here and I can't see what I'm doing. I've got the old ugga-dugga gun though, so we're on a roll. There goes the work light. That's going for a week or a daily meeting with the floor really. I was going to say a weekly meeting, but it goes to the floor most days, that work light. That's why the other night you might have seen the video. I might have included it somewhere, or I might not already. I might include it later. I don't know if it's been up yet, because I don't know when this video is going up. I had this and I bolted the stand onto it. I ain't got the stand on it tonight because I've had it hung up in the shed as a light in the shed, but we was putting the stand on it, and we put the stand on it, and I said, well, there's only one thing left to do now, and I'm guessing you boys thought it was going to be stand it somewhere and try it out, but I just threw it at the floor and it stayed in one piece and worked. So it's actually a pretty minty work light, you know, for a work light. Now we've got to try and get to the other side and undo the voltages there. You see, no you can't because you're looking upwards. I think you can see. You see there's no washer on top of any of the voltages, which is odd because he's put washers on the bottom. Oh well, there's some trees here that are just sort of hanging out. Mint. That one there looks like it could be a bit prickly, and it's probably trying to get me in the eye right now, which is not quite as mint as a mint one, but well, it's a similar flavour. Oh well, oh, blind you. Just blinded myself. 18.2 times. What's going on here? Are you going to stay on there, or do you want to go on the floor? It's going on the floor. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. Oh, my knuckles. Oh wow, that one's really cross-threaded on there. And I've lost the nut. I think I can find the washer. That's there. Where'd the nut go? That's the problem when you're in the middle of the woods with all these leaves here. They tend to... Let's tighten that up a little bit. They tend to get in the way of progress sometimes. Like I've just lost a perfectly good 17mm nut. Oh. When you look up here, you'll see the bolts doing the being stuck in. Yeah, and that must have been good because the threads are still good. I don't know why it acted so tight coming off, but that's the way she goes sometimes, I guess. There's another one there that we've got to undo. No, there. You see there? And then there's another one down the front that you're not even looking at. Why don't you look at it? Just put that up there. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, really. I'm just making up as I go along. Bye-bye. We'll keep the nut off this one if we can. Oh, and the washer. Minty. Absolutely fucking mint. Oh no, we've just lost a bolt to the floor. Let me get that work light. Blind you, what? Oh, oh, there's a tree. Oh, it turns out that tree there, well, I just tripped over it because it weren't big enough to see. And it's not wearing any high-vis colours. It weren't really my fault I tripped over it, really. It should have been wearing a high-vis. Health and safety, you know. Woo! Oh, well, it was a can of unseasoned juice, but that's run out of unseasoned. Let's see if this will sit under here somewhere, maybe better. Blind you. Have that. Oh, mint. You're probably going to get blinded another 72 times before I undo this bolt. Ah, oh, mint. Right, he really put some thread seize on here to make sure the thread's all seized up. Oh, no, I'm losing the nut and the washer. No, I've caught them. Don't worry. We're keeping them because they're good. Some decent length bolts as well. Don't know what we use them for, but we'll certainly find a use for them. So I think we're gonna oh, now none of us can see, not even you. Hang on. I don't know, can you see? I think well, the rattle gun's trying to go on the floor now because apparently it looks like a good place to be. Mint. So I'm going to get these voltages here. Spanner. I'll come back for the box section in a minute. I probably won't bring you boys back. I'll probably leave you in the shed because, well, you'll be able to see more in there. I'm going to come out in the dark and get these bits of box just to make sure I can't see what I'm doing and I trip over 14,000 times. I'm about to go out and get this metal work, and I was about to walk out the shed without the work light, and I figured, well, I'm going to trip over 18 million times. So I thought, well, how can I have the work light sort of carry itself? And then I realised I've got the chest mount on here for the little camera you're watching on currently. So I put a zippy tie through the mounting bracket of the work light, and it's now just sort of hanging out there and a bit blinded. It works, so that's what we're doing now. I'm going to leave you boys in here because I can't carry you the work light and 2 bits of steel. It just ain't going to happen. Alright boys, I made it back. I've left one bit outside because we're just going to do one side at a time and then clone it. So I've got one bit in here. I've had a measure up over in that area over there. Work actually wants to be 60 inches long, roughly. Now, I'm going to try and make it so 60 inches from one end of this bit of box and not from the other. And I'll show you why in a moment. We're just going to try and get her up in the vise on the bench and get her clamped in for now. Because she's a bit big to be holding by hand, and then we've got to work out how in the hell we're going to do all of this. So she's in there. So the reason I want it to be 60 inch from one end and not the other is because this end's got some plates on it. So hopefully from there to here we can get 60 American measurements without causing too many issues. So we'll get the old hurdy-gurdy and we'll go from there. Oh, well, we're going to have to include that one then. Is it? Yeah, same underneath as well. Well, that's not 100% ideal, but I guess we can utilise it because 60 inch is going to be there. I'm making funny noises again, ain't I? I knew it. So, well, I guess because they're only welded down either side. I guess we could grindulate the welds out, and then it'll just be, there could be 2 handy little bits of pre-drilled plate. They could. I mean, inside there feels like it's just holes, so they might even come in handy for the mounts. I'm not sure if the holes line up for the mounts. They'll be mounting holes. If they don't, there'll just be somewhere to spray some cavity wax in every so often to stop it rotting from the inside out. So there's that. So next up, I think I'm going to have to clean it up all the way around around here, mark it, get the set square, so we get a nice clean straight cut, because, well, my bandsaw is a 4.5 inch or a 9 inch grinder. So welcome back, or maybe not welcome back, because this might be part of I don't know whether this is going to be the fresh start of another episode or whether it's going to be halfway through an episode, really, because, well, I've got some films that I've got to edit and do digital things to that I've already filmed of what I'm doing tonight. Well, not of what I'm doing tonight, because what I'm doing tonight I ain't done yet, but of the stuff leading up to what we're doing tonight. So it may be a welcome back, it may just be a continuation, but I'll probably leave this bit in anyway, because no doubt some of you silly fuckers will laugh at me. I'm going to take the head torch off so I don't look quite as retarded. No, can't say that. So I don't look quite as stupid. Okay. So in this episode, I'm going to try not to swear too much. Oh, hell. I tell you, if I had a swear jar, I'd be broke, but I'd have enough money in the swear jar to buy everything I need. I don't know if you can hear or not from where you are, but I'm in the shed. It is windy as outside, and I mean proper windy, and the wind, well, that really urinates me off. There we are. We'll put some different words in for you so you still know what I'm talking about, but I'm just not saying bad words. Well, they're still just as bad, but the pussies among you and the pussies on the old YouTubes and other places, they won't be as backwards about it, you know, because they might start getting angry otherwise. So it's windy as hell outside, and I really hate the wind. Don't know what your opinion of the wind is, but I'd really like to go and find out where the hell it comes from and just get like 34 tracks, turn the pumps up on the whole lot of them, chain them all together and just drive it, the son of a bitch. Really just, you know, and send it back the way it came from. It doesn't need to be here. It's got the whole world, but it can be windy somewhere where there's no people. The way I figure it is the wind's a little bit like the tax man. You can't see the fucker, but it always finds a way of fucking your plans up, you know. So I've got a moderately cold can of Australia European gnat's piss. Yep, gnat's urine. Australia European gnat's urine. Oh, this is going to be difficult. This is not swearing. And well, we're going to crack on where we left off before when we were working on the rig. And well, there's this bit of box section here that I put a line around, and there's another bit outside the door that I'm leaving outside the door for now. We're going to make that into like a rock slider, come tree slider, come well, if a motorcyclist goes into the side of us, he's definitely not going to have a good weekend with them on there. And yeah, we're going to sort of try and work out how they're going to mount up and line it up along the side of the chassis and do some figuring out. And well, I guess if you boys think that's a bit of a chore of an idea to be going about undertaking, you can just watch me do it, and that'll save you doing it yourself. And if you think about undertaking a task such as this, building a tray back 4-track out of really heavy duty metal, and well, she's probably going to be overweight on the back axle, but I don't really care because I don't plan on stopping for Vosa. What? Who are they? Never heard of them. Yeah, if you don't really care and you just want to build an awesome rig that's heavy duty enough to do heavy duty things with some sketchy welds because you don't really know how to weld and you're kind of a little bit self-taught, then keep watching me and I'll teach you all the best ways not to do it, and then you can do it that way. So I'm going to get set up and drink my moderately cold can of Australia European gnat's urine and set the old time-lapse camera up, and I'll be back when I've cut that bit of metal up, is what I'm saying. So after a little bit of fiddle fucking around and drawing some more lines and doing some cutting, and the gauge plates that were on here, well, you'll probably see on the time-lapse camera, whoever welded them, well, their wife is lucky, because that mother humper knew how to get a hell of a lot of penetration. I cut and I ground and I cut and I ground, and then I had to cut through the middle of it and hammer the chisel through, and well, it's penetrated like 1/4 of an inch into the bit of plate, which is impressive because the bit of plate weren't even 1/4 of an inch thick. What a legend. He just bored that in there big time. Minty. If my welds were as good as that, I wouldn't need half as many of them because, well, It didn't want to cut. I even had the persuasion stick involved, and well, now we're gonna, this bit here, what's here, this out here, we're gonna make that go round there with the persuasion stick by just kind of look up at it. Well, that's about as around there as she wants to go at the minute, but we'll put a clamper later on there, or, you know, push it in and tack it when we get the welder fired up. And I'm not going to grind these piss poor bits back here, because, well, once I weld that, I'm definitely going to have to do grinding on this piece anyway. You know, because of how she is and how my welds is. But I'm good at grinding, and I'm good at painting. Well, no, I'm not that good at painting, but I'm good at grinding. And I use lots of paint, because the thicker the paint, the better the welds look. So there's that. So then it goes all the way up to that end over there. From this end, it goes all the way up to that end. But that end we ain't got to tape it, because that's going to be tucked in under. Well, I'll show you. And if the camera stays so I can see that it's definitely doing the recordalations. Obviously some light trimming of my spider web piece that you probably can't see on there is going to happen to make it line up. But basically, that slider, this end, is going to tuck in under here, and like there's going to be this. Look up where my hands is. Focus up there. There's going to be like there's going to be bolts, and there might even be like 2 plates here and then bolts. You know, it's not going to fall off, is what I'm saying. That's the plan anyway. So now that you know the plan and I know the plan, and between us we might both know something that the other one don't know, so that's perfect. I'm probably just going to go and get this. Let's go and get it. Let's go and get it, and I'm going to giant G-spot clamp for when you really want to make a come. Well, I just put that on there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll put that on me. Well, if I put it on here. Oh, actually. Let's put it a bit close at that end. No, close at this end. You see, because I've got a carry handle for my rock slider now. Look at that. That's just going with us. It's the wrong way up, so we'll turn it the other way up. Oh, hell. She's a lump. So she's there like that. We'll take this off here, because there ain't no need for that. And then I've got to find, yeah, I don't know what happened to the bit of metal that I had the other day that I was using across there. So I'm back. I found the bit of metal I had the other day, which is that bit along there. Some silly old pisser, I don't know who, has hammered this old hurdy-gurdy bit of rod in the end of here for some reason. I just don't know what that could have been. Time to do some sketchy stuff. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Doo-dah, doo-dah, day. I don't know what they were thinking, so I've got to try and remove it because I want it off the bit of rod. Oh, that's going quite easy. Sorry about deafening you, but banging makes noise. This is a good hammer. It's got a lot of bangs left in it. I don't like it when my hammer runs out of bangs. Oh no, that's not going too well now. I don't want to blunt me good chisel, so I'll go over the drawer here, and well, I don't know what to get. I might just get a bad chisel. I mean, I'll get a bad chisel out and use a bad chisel for it, because I don't want to blunt me good. Oh, actually, we've got the tool here that sexually identifies as a punch, and depending on when you're seeing this video, you may or not have already seen that this one definitely sexually identifies as a punch. If not, either stick around for the other video or go and watch it, depending on if it's on YouTube yet. But it'll be the video where I use bread as a tool, so keep an eye out. Well, the bloke who was welding on that bit of box section, whether this saved a bit of film or not, well, he got some penetration, but I think the bloke who put this in there, he definitely got better penetration. I'll ask his missus when I see her. I shall just say to her, does he give you good penetration? And if she says yes, then that must be a yes. If she says no, I'll offer to do the job again. What? It definitely wasn't me. I wouldn't do something silly like this, would I? Especially not for a really sketchy purpose. Would I do sketchy things for a sketchy? I'd do sketchy things just for the hell of it, let's face it. Oh, it fell out. I mean, we'll leave that bit in the voice. That bit in the voice there. So that when we come back and want to use the voice again, that's in the way. How about that? So the other day you might have seen a short video. I had a piece of flat bar in here mocked up where the rock slider was going to be roughly, which was that piece of flat bar that's just sort of chilling out there because, well, why shouldn't it? And now we've changed the flat bar for a bit of almost 3 inch by 3 inch, what was it, 2 1/4 or 2 3/4 box section. That's going to go how it is about there, a bit like that sort of thing, so to speak. And yeah, I've got to figure out some bracketry here, and maybe that spider web affair down there is going to have to come out, and the slider will have a cap that sort of kicks out and round that. I don't really know. Not 100% sure yet myself, but we're working on it. And that's going all the way down there, down past to that front body mount. That covers, you know, that's going the full length of the area where the chassis definitely hasn't been cut and joined. So that will strengthen up the area where the chassis definitely hasn't been cut and joined. So even if it were to have been cut and joined, which it hasn't, because that would be illegal, and I don't do illegal things. So even if it were cut and joined, which it's not, this would add strength along the length of the area where it definitely hasn't been cut and joined. So now, because this piece of metal across the top here is just to hold things and get the level and gauge where things is going. So now I've got to build outriggers to come off of there out to it and work out how they're going to bolt up. I'm probably going to put an outrigger out from here because that's going to have an extra, well, I think I detailed it the other day, you get the gist. And maybe one somewhere, I don't know, or maybe we won't have one there so much and we'll just have one here in the middle. Yeah, that might be a better idea, just have one in the middle here, that one there, and then it ties into that one at the back. And well, she's got a slight taper on her so that things will come past the front wheel, hit against this, skid along this, and end up out the back here, out where we need them. So that's mint. I'm going to go and have some more beer and ponder for a minute and work out a rough idea in my head of how we're going to make some bracketry, because although I do feel like a fabrificator sometimes, I'm no fabricator and I ain't really got a clue. I just kind of puts bits of metal near where I want them and then figures out ways of how I'm going to join them together. I'd like them all be bolt on so I can unbolt all of the everything off it really, and then it'll just, because if I suddenly decide at some point that this full tray back design that I'm building isn't really what I want, I don't want to have then a chassis that's fully had all the tray back affair all welded onto it and I can't alter it. Or say I want to build a slightly different style of tray back or some different sliders, I don't want to then have to be chopping things off the chassis and grinding back and fiddle fucking around too much to do it. I'd just like to go and remove some bolts and lift everything off and pull things out and do what I've got to do. So I'll be back in a minute after some of this and some figuring out, and then we'll, between us, we might know what's going on. How about